The March incident of 1931 started in the autumn of 1930, with the foundation of the Sakurakai, or Cherry Society, by the Imperial Japanese Army Lieutenant Colonel Kingara Hashimoto, and Captain Osamu Cho. The cherry blossom was symbolic of self-sacrifice, and was a symbol used by the military to symbolize the fleeting life of a soldier. The avowed goal of the Sakurakai was political reform, through elimination of corrupt party politics and the establishment of a totalitarian government run by the military. The new government would rid the country of corrupt politics, and the perceived degenerative influences corrupting Japan's public morals. After the attempted assassination of Prime Minister Ozaki Hamaguchi, Duke Seionji Kinmochi, and Lord Privy Seal Makino Nobuwaki, considered recommending General Kazushige Ugaki to the post of Prime Minister. However, they later decided that a civilian nominee would be best for Japan at this point. This change enraged the militarist party within the Imperial Japanese Army, and several leading generals called on Hashimoto and his Sakurakai to plan a coup to bring Ugaki to power. Hashimoto's plan involved 3 phases. Phase 1 would involve massive riots being instigated in Tokyo, which would force the government to call out the army, and proclaim martial law. In Phase 2, the Imperial Japanese Army would execute a coup and seize power. And finally, a new cabinet would be formed under the leadership of the then War Minister, General Kazushige Ugaki. The project was underwritten by a 200,000 yen donation by Yoshichika Tokugawa, an ultra-right-wing member of the House of Peers, and Emperor Hirohito's second cousin. Ultra-rightist civilian organizations led by Kanichiro Kimaya and Shumei Okawa fomented a commotion outside the Diet building in Tokyo at the end of February 1931. Unfortunately for them, due to various logistical issues, the disturbance didn't attract enough people, and the intended riot didn't occur. Hashimoto consulted Okawa, who wrote to Ugaki on March 3, explaining the plot and demanding the call-out of troops, and action on the general's part. Ugaki, either unenthusiastic from the start, or having a change in heart after seeing the failure of the riot to take off, refused to cooperate. He had hopes of becoming head of the Riken Minsto party, and thus had a chance of becoming prime minister by legal means rather than through a coup. It's also likely that Ugaki foresaw that a military dictatorship would alienate powerful sectors of the Japanese elite, like the bureaucrats, the court nobles and industrialists, the very people whose support he would need in a total war. The plotters tried again to start a riot on March 17, 2 days before the planned coup was due to take place, but again the projected 10,000 rioters failed to turn up and the leaders were arrested. The whole affair had disintegrated. Ugaki then intervened to downplay and hush up the whole incident, and ensured that the plotters received very mild punishments. This had the end result of encouraging more attempts by factions and groups of the military to intervene in Japanese politics, and it also tainted Ugaki's bid for the office of Prime Minister in the future. Completely unbothered by his failure, Hashimoto later attempted to overthrow the government again, 7 months later in the Imperial Colors incident of October 1931.